Kishan RAO vs Nikhil Super Speciality Hospital, Civil Appeal No. 2641 of 2010. Introduction. The case of vs Kishan RAO vs Nikhil Super Speciality Hospital is a landmark judgment in the field of medical negligence and consumer protection law. The Supreme Court in this case clarified the powers of consumer forums while dealing with medical negligence cases. The judgment is important because it made access to justice easier for patients and held that expert medical evidence is not compulsory in every medical negligence case. This case is very useful for LLB students studying Consumer Protection Act and medical negligence. Facts of the case. In this case, the wife of vs Kishan RAO was suffering from fever and was treated by the doctors of Nikhil Super Speciality Hospital. The doctors treated her for malaria without conducting proper medical tests. Her condition worsened, and later it was found that she was actually suffering from typhoid fever. Due to wrong diagnosis and improper treatment, she died. Kishan RAO filed a complaint before the Consumer Forum alleging medical negligence on the part of the hospital and doctors. The hospital denied negligence and argued that without expert medical evidence, the Consumer Forum could not decide the case. Issues before the court. The main issue before the Supreme Court was whether expert medical evidence is mandatory in every case of medical negligence. Another issue was whether consumer forums are competent to decide medical negligence cases without referring them to civil courts. Judgment of the court. The Supreme Court held that expert evidence is not required in every medical negligence case. The court ruled in favor of vs Kishan RAO and held the hospital negligent. The court observed that where negligence is clear and obvious, consumer forums can decide the case based on available records and facts. The court restored the order of the Consumer Forum, which had awarded compensation to the complainant. Reasoning of the court. The court reasoned that consumer protection law was enacted to provide simple, speedy, and inexpensive justice. If expert evidence is made compulsory in every case, it would defeat the very purpose of the Act. The court stated that medical negligence cases can be of different types, some may require expert opinion, while others may not. In this case, the doctors failed to conduct basic tests and wrongly treated typhoid as malaria. Such negligence was apparent and did not require expert proof. Legal principles laid down. The court laid down the important principle that consumer forums are competent to decide medical negligence cases. Expert medical evidence is required only in complicated cases involving technical issues. In cases of clear negligence, consumer forums can rely on medical records, facts, and circumstances. The judgment also reaffirmed that medical services fall within the definition of service under the Consumer Protection Act, and patients are consumers. Significance of the judgment. This judgment is significant because it strengthened the rights of patients and reduced procedural hurdles. It discouraged unnecessary delay in medical negligence cases and prevented hospitals from escaping liability on technical grounds. The case made consumer justice more accessible to ordinary people. Conclusion. In conclusion, vs Kishan RAO vs Nikhil Super Speciality Hospital is a very important judgment on medical negligence under consumer law. The Supreme Court rightly held that expert evidence is not compulsory in every case and that consumer forums can decide cases of clear negligence. The judgment promotes justice, accountability in medical services, and protection of patients' rights. It is a must-study case for LLB students.